how can Peter Obi win any election? Peter Obi is polling 1% in Sokoto, 2% in Katsina, 5% in Kano. That's where the votes are. All states are not equal. The fact that you are doing 70% in Anambra State does not mean somebody doing 10% in Kano is not better than you. The number of votes in Anambra is the size of one local government in Kaduna State. So all states are not equal. If you poll states and you make them equal, yes, Peter Obi will sweep the southeastern states. He will do well in South-South. Where else? He's not polling well in Southwest, other than a drop in the ocean in Lagos.
Hi guys, hope you're good. So straight to it. If there is anyone that I have seen recently that has described El-Rufai very, very succinctly apt about his behavior, about his attitude, about his character, this guy got him red-handed. Like, there's nothing to remove or add. This Shehu Sani guy is, really explained who El-Rufai is. I mean, what else to add, really? What else to add? He sponsored all forms of brigandage, all forms of lies, all forms of... There was nothing that El-Rufai did not sponsor against Goodluck Jonathan to ask Goodluck Jonathan. There was nothing he didn't say, including the fact that they have added him to the list of people that the president wanted to assassinate at the time, just to oust this guy, all in the name of his selfish aggrandizement. I mean, come on. This is the same El-Rufai that told us Buhari is the best. And now he is moving from another party, the APC that he gave us, the APC that he formed. He's moving from that party and moving to SDP and is calling on every other person to join him to oust Tinubu, whom he supported just a few years ago. I mean, this guy must think we are fools. This guy must think he is some god that wherever he goes, things shine. Or in 2014, he did it with Buhari, and then they formed the coalition that ousted Goodluck Jonathan. In 2019, he was all over the place. Well, he won an election. Of course, we understand how an election goes in Nigeria anyway. Oh, in 2023, he fought the entire North in order to give Tinubu the ticket. And so everything works for him wherever he goes, whatever he wants to do, as long as it has to do with him. It has to do with his agenda. I mean, it will work for him. That's what he believes. I think it's about time to put him in his place, frankly speaking. It's about time, because this thing has been reeling in his head. Wherever I go to, I win. Wherever I go to, I form a coalition, I win. Wherever I go to, I form a coalition, I win. That's the reason why before he left APC to SDP, he sent his son to go and tweet a message that this son that has been sending all sort of crazy, divisive tweet against Peter Obi before the 2023 election, saying Peter Obi isn't bad at all, isn't bad after all. Now trying to stoop to conquer, calling Amechi. If you can win an election on your own, if you can actually win a proper election on your own, go the whole hog. You have gone to SDP. Why are you calling Amechi? Why are you calling Peter Obi? Why are you calling Atiku? Why are you calling people to come and join you in SDP? So that what will happen? I think it's about time to put him in his place, because again, I don't even mind. Yes, Tinubu has his own issues. And trust me, even if it were Peter Obi or Atiku that got into that power, it would have been still the same thing, because all of them said they were going to remove subsidy. So however you want to think through it and say maybe this person who said he wasn't going to remove it immediately, he wasn't going to remove it, sparingly, he's going to remove it gradually, at least it wouldn't be so painful like the way it is for Nigerians. Yes, but again, at some point, if they do remove it, whether it's gradually or maybe biennially or yearly, it will still affect you. And that's one thing that this president has done. No president will come again and come and tell us about anything about subsidy. It has been removed, and it has been removed for good. If we had said, well, let's remove it partially, Goodluck Jonathan removed it partially. And since then, we have had, after Goodluck Jonathan left, Buhari also tinkered with it, removed it partially too. So, but this one, there will be nobody ever again that will tell us, after this pain we have gone through, they'll come and tell us they have to remove another subsidy. It's not possible. All those periods we didn't have a refinery working in Nigeria, but now we have a refinery working, with more of the refineries even trying to be established. More licenses have been given. I heard that before the year runs out, maybe another 1 or 2 will be coming on stream to compete with Dangote. So we're mostly on course. I'm not Tinubu's supporter. I reel things from, I think well before I make any assertion. Would I say Tinubu's administration is the best? No, he's scoring above, below average, way below average, way below average, and that's because of the way and manner he has not just removed subsidy or some of his policies, but the way he has gone about it without putting people through, and then trying to even put cushion to the effect of whatever policies that he's going to put. We know that everybody agrees that subsidy must go, but the way and manner you go about it, the way and manner you must ensure that people are carried along, and people are given an opportunity to adjust, and must put certain things in certain areas in order to get things going. Yes, that's the only way, the place I fought him. That's the only way the only place I fought him. But be that as it may, that this guy explained El-Rufai so well. In fact, he roundly finished him. I think we have to play that video, and I'll come back afterwards.
And also about the former governor. I think the best thing is to make a call to at least 10 people in Kaduna to know the horror, the terror, the tragedy we have suffered for 8 years under him. First and foremost, I had an issue with him for my refusal to approve a $350 million loan, which of course later he got it, and which now strangulated and asphyxiated the economy of Kaduna State. And you can see the report that came out of the prop by Kaduna Assembly, how the state was pillaged, destroyed, looted, and dehydrated by Nasir El-Rufai and his gang. We now luckily have a new person at the helm who is doing everything possible to restore the honor, the glory of the state, and most importantly, to unite the predominantly Christian South and the largely Muslim North in the state that have been almost at war for the whole 8 years which Nasru was the governor of Kaduna.
Was that deliberate?
Well, it was an institutional, because the people of Southern Kaduna were almost treated like the blacks in apartheid South Africa under his leadership. And also the people of Northern Kaduna suffered a devastating issues as far as his style of governance was concerned. Just like what he did in Abuja, they seized lands and share it to family and friends. They gave out contract without due process. They strangulated the economy of the state with debt. He has left piles of uncompleted projects dotted all around. Contractors have gone to court and have gotten a garnishing order against the Kaduna State government for now. He has left over a liability of 100 billion, which Kaduna State have to pay contractors. Many of the projects were abandoned, from markets to roads to bridges. This is all what we have.
How would you describe the 8 years of Nasir El-Rufai in Kaduna?
Well, to us, to people from outside who don't go beyond the Kaduna city, where you see some cosmetics of roads and street lights. We have 20 local governments in the state. You need to go to the states and see how he has neglected and how he has exploited, plundered the state, and virtually destroyed our cohabitation, unity, and harmonious existence between us and the people of Southern Kaduna.
Summarily, how would you describe those 8 years?
To us, it was a disaster, and he is now moving about trying to mobilize an alliance against the government, which I believe was simply self-seeking, seeking for attention, and simply struggling for his own personal political relevance and a place. But to us, we know that his government was a disaster to our people, and that is why they refused to vote for APC when he served as 8 years. Remind you, when I see him and others threatening the president about re-election, I said, but Aswaju lost Kaduna. Atiku won Kaduna. The votes, Atiku had 599,000 votes, and Aswaju has 360,000 votes. And the PDP won all the 3 senatorial seats and also the House of Representatives seats. So the governor also of the state, my friend here, narrowly won as a result of the policies which he has inherited in the state. So you can see this is the score sheet. If you're a politician, I think you should walk by your updated report of what you have been able to do.
Shehu Sani, I mean, explaining who El-Rufai think he is. And then he says he was basically threatening the president about re-election. I mean, take a look at El-Rufai and all his antecedents. Before El-Rufai became a governor or did the coalition in 2015, where was he? Has he ever contested in any election and won? What was his antecedent? Because of his collaboration with Buhari, that was how and why he was able to do that. But this time around, Buhari is not going to coalesce with him. He's going to be on his own. And so he will need the help of Amechi, Peter Obi from the south, and a few persons from the north that he can gather to join. And then he's trying to now talk to CPC group in APC to pull out so that it will be easy for him to manipulate. And take a look at what he did in Kaduna State. Oh my God. Southern Kaduna they were treated like they were outcasts. There was no week you wouldn't hear some killings in the south. And you'll be asking yourself, why is this thing always happening in the south? We didn't know that this man practically institutionalized killing in the southern part of Kaduna, because they don't deserve to exist. Under his own watch, he supervised the killing that was done consistently and continuously. At some point, he said he even paid people to stop killing. He paid people to stop killing, whereas that payment, how are we sure the payment wasn't even to continue killing? And this is the same person that wants us to run with him, to go to another party to oust Tinubu, so that it will say it's a him factor. I think it's about time to put him in his place. I don't even mind praying that this Tinubu returns just to spite this guy. What does El-Rufai know, really? What would we say we have gained from El-Rufai? Is it his ability to unite people? Has El-Rufai ever given a speech before that you can look at and say, oh well, I've united. I did a speech that united the South and the North. I did a speech that that people got inspired by, and they were able to believe in the country again. Maybe I established a few things aside from the fact that he was governor, because again, if you're a governor, resources are available to you. Forget to establish schools in your design before he was governor, and even after now that he's governor. Where would you say El-Rufai has? Who would you say El-Rufai has built, has improved their lives?
This government, I think you ask yourself, where are we coming from? Why was he silent when what was happening under Buhari? If you are talking of killings, which is insecurity, which he has said, we had the highest form of insecurity under Buhari administration. For now, let me be very frank with you. I do not speak for the government. When last did you hear of any school in northern Nigeria has been attacked as students were kidnapped? What do we have in record? Bethel Baptist High School in Kaduna was attacked, students were kidnapped. Greenfield University, Kaduna, it happened. Federal Government Girls College, Yauri. Government Secondary School, Kankara. Government Science College, Kagara. Dapchi, Jengibe. All these profiles of kidnapping, it was almost a kidnapping and attack per month. From Kaduna to Abuja, when last have you heard there was attacks and kidnappings? It doesn't happen. Does not mean that the nation is safe with what is happening in Plateau and Benue. But comparatively, we have moved away from the past. We have not reached where we are. And in economic terms, what happened? What happened under Buhari regime? And he was talking of nepotism. I heard him saying Yoruba-led federal government. The statistics are very clear. The nation has a very suicidally short memory. And then we simply forget what happened last time around. Buhari was in power. What was the profile of nepotism at that very time? About 30 federal appointments were given to people from Kaduna State and 50 board members. Who are they? The DG of SSS Laura was from Kaduna State. NIA, the DG, Rufai, was from Kaduna State. The MPA, my sister Hadiza, she's from Kaduna State. Director of Federal Mortgage Bank, Kaduna State. Smedan, Kaduna State. FRCN, Kaduna State. NIMET, Kaduna State. NIMASA, Kaduna State. Railway Corporation, Kaduna State. All those things. You don't talk of Chairman of Federal Civil Service. About 30. We don't have time for that. I can state all of them. All from Kaduna State. And when you talk of nepotism at the regional level, what happened? At a certain time in this country, the Controller General of Immigration, which is Babendidi, is from Kaduna State, from northern Nigeria. Customs, Hamid Ali, is from northern Nigeria. Civil Defense, Audi, is from northern Nigeria. Chairman of Federal Road Safety Corps is from northern Nigeria. Inspector General of Police, Baba, is from northern Nigeria. The Chief of Naval Staff, the Chief of Army Staff, from that guy from Yahya from Sokoto, they're all from northern Nigeria. We have had all those things here, and you have never had any person from any south or southern part of the country raising issues. But now is the case. But it's a fact that two wrongs do not make a right. But let us know that when nepotism favored a part of the country, you are silent. And now you raise it up because you have an issue with this government.
But does it make it right? I mean, whatever that's criticism against this government about how skewed appointments have been, does it make it right under the fact that because it's happened under Buhari doesn't mean that people cannot speak against it?
Yeah, but I will appreciate the morality of your position if I can hear your voice when your own man from your tribe, from your ethnic group, and from your own tribal identity were perpetrating those evil and you stood against it. And when you keep quiet when it favored you, and now you speak out when it doesn't favor you, it means you have other alternatives. And that will say that President Aswadi should also be very careful. He shouldn't toe that line, because it has been in African political geography that each time a person takes over a position of office, he fills the major position with people from his own ethnic group. And it's happening everywhere. So people who find themselves in power should see it as an opportunity to serve, not as warlords who have conquered, and as such they have to place their people everywhere.
And I'd like to ask you, Senator,
even as a private citizen or even as a public citizen, who would you say all he knows is stoking the embers of division, the embers of ethnicity, championing a cause that is personal, and always angry about anything that has to do with the progress of any southerner? Just listen to how vexed he is when it comes to Peter Obi, and that's how vexed Buhari is whenever they hear anything about the Igbos. They just feel so angry and bitter. I don't know what they're bitter about. I don't know what they're angry about. I don't know what is eating them. Just listen to him.
How can Peter Obi win any election. Peter Obi is polling 1% in Sokoto, 2% in Katsina, 5% in Kano. That's where the votes are. All states are not equal. The fact that you are doing 70% in Anambra State does not mean somebody doing 10% in Kano is not better than you. The number of votes in Anambra is the size of one local government in Kaduna State. So all states are not equal. If you poll states and you make them equal, yes, Peter Obi will sweep the southeastern states. He will do well in South-South. Where else? He's not polling well in Southwest, other than a drop in the ocean in Lagos. He is polling in the Christian enclaves in the north. He's polling well, but how many are they? Peter Obi cannot win the election. He doesn't have the number of states. He doesn't have 25% in more than, the last time we checked, in more than 16 states. He can't go anywhere. Peter Obi is a Nollywood actor, and that's all he will be.
So Peter Obi couldn't have won any election in the north, but you want him now to join you. Now you know what his strength is. And sometimes, I really thank God that Peter Obi went that whole gamut, the whole hog. I mean, it was scary. Less than 6 months for an election, and you are pulling out of a political party and getting into practically a new party, that had no bearing on anything, that has not won any election, that's not popular. And you were able, with all of the national might, you were able to gather at least 6.1 million votes. You beat Asiwaju in his house. You took Abuja from them. You took Plateau. Like, did you see those numbers? Did you see those numbers? And then now you want him to join. You are calling him to join. Just imagine. It's so unfortunate, really. And anybody who is following him from one place to another, thinking he's of any good, think again. This man means no good. Now I can stand with him or with anybody for a debate on this matter. It's as clear as anything. This Sani guy gave it to him, and I don't think they even gave him time to describe who El-Rufai was. Anyway, guys, I'll see you on the next one. God bless.